there, you just gotta find it.
All right, I'll call this meeting of the Brown County Commission to order. Commissioner Fishback, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. First on the agenda, we've got Jerry Heitz with Footstep Counseling presentation to the commission. Jerry, are you with us?
Yep.
I don't know if he's with us, but I'm kind of with him.
Are you with them? Sounds good. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, very good, thank you.
Good.
Have a quick drink of water.
Let's see, what's your position, Tom?
I'm only here just as far as the introduction. I've known Jerry all my life, but talking with the sheriff the other day, we wanted to bring up the employee assistance program again, the concept of it. And both in our office and throughout the county, we've had employees that have been affected with everything from deaths, divorce, traumatic events. And this is just something that I guess we wanted to broach the subject with you to see if maybe it would start a conversation to see if it's something that the county would be able to offer. So with that, I'm going to leave it to Jerry.
Tom just did almost everything I was going to say, except for employee assistance program. First, let me do this. So in honesty, I recently went into private practice, and how I got to Tom was I was trying to get the word out that I was available for, and we got to talking about services, and I brought up the employee assistance program, and he told me that the county didn't have one. And so, yeah, let me do, yeah, you go, I don't know how to do that properly here, I'll just give you some, and I want to keep on, and then I'm going to refer to it. So, what an employee assistance program is designed to do is help an employee who's in a life situation. I thought I made 9, I didn't know how many I'd have in the room. Who's in a life situation that creates some level of impairment, maybe a reduction in productivity or an increase in absenteeism or distraction, and but this situation isn't serious enough to be eligible to be covered by health insurance. In order for counseling to be covered by health insurance, it requires that the situation is serious enough to give a mental health diagnosis, which is no different for insurance purposes than a medical diagnosis. And so what employee assistance programs are designed to do is be a stopgap for those situations. So if somebody's having a family problem and they're not, maybe that's reduced their level of productivity, increased their absenteeism, a person can come and see an employee assistance provider. Generally speaking, employers offer 3 sessions. The point of the 3 sessions is one is sort of assess the severity and see if and make a recommendation for further services if necessary, and if not, sometimes you can resolve the problem in 3. 3 is kind of the standard. I've seen 6. Some places offer 6. Employee assistance. If you think about the cost, literally the cost of in cash and the cost in wear and tear and stress on other employees of an impaired employee assistance programs are really a very affordable way to do things. So as an example, in private industry, when you have an employee with, say, a depression, the estimated loss to that business is about $5,000 for that employee to be impaired. Now, I'm not really sure how that interprets in the public sector, but I'm certain there's a cost of some sort. So if Tom has a deputy who's got a family problem and is absent, he's got to figure out how to fill that time, which means he's putting wear and tear on another employee. And think about the sheriff deputy position is, I think, very compelling because that's a job where a lot of times you have family distress just based on hours and based on fear of what might be happening. And then of course if somebody leaves or if you have to dismiss somebody, then you've got cost of training, you've got the cost of the person who's training them, you've got If it's a deputy, you've got to send them to school, you've got all kinds of costs associated with it. Typically, if you think about it, and I'm not sure, I'm assuming the county employs somewhere 300 people, something like that. And if you think about a typical employee assistance use frequency, you would think about 3%. Generally speaking, employers reimburse the EAP provider at somewhere between, the current probably $65 to $90, but $65 being a pretty typical reimbursement rate. If you had an employee who used all 3 sessions, and just to round it up, it's $200 cost. And if you had 9 people, at 3%, 9 people at $200, that's $1,800. If you lose one employee because of a family problem or have to let an employee go, $1,900 is eaten up in that first employee. The other thing is that you have a lot of employees who are in jobs with a lot of, where public safety is a concern. Men on the road and heavy equipment, trucks, maintainers, you have men and women on the deputies who are in, you never know what situation they're going to face, so I think you've got a real concern for public and personal safety of those employees.
You know, and I know in talking with Jerry, you know, he feels strongly about the program. He's not asking to be the sole provider, you know, but I think just the merits of the program itself, if, like I say, if we could continue the conversation, there's probably nobody at this table that hasn't been hit in life a big ding one way or the other. You know, you've had a sickness, you've had divorces, you've had bankruptcies, we've had loss of family members, you know, and it's just, it would be an opportunity. You know, you guys have stepped up for the sick leave bank, and that's really been well regulated and not used a lot, but it's an incredible program. I mean, there's no one else that I know of that has one of those. So when Jerry and I were talking, and the sheriff were talking, you know, this is a positive program, and I guess we just wanted to bring it to you again to see if, you know, we could maybe talk about it and see if it has a place in Brown County.
Yeah, because if I were not, and I sort of am, and sort of not advocating for myself, but it would be better for your employees if they had a group of, a number of different providers they could choose from. Sometimes there's dual role problems, maybe they know a provider, or they're just been with somebody before and would be more comfortable with that person. Yeah, I would think that if to offer it, you'd want to just have a group of providers. You'd want to tell your employee, you know, if they'll accept it.
A couple of years ago, I talked to Dwayne, and I brought Dwayne over to Northeastern Mental Health, where I'm on the board, and we talked about that we have a need, and we'd like to see something like this. I really do feel we have a need in this.
Well, I know we talked several years ago about this idea, and at that time we had Blue Cross, which would, but only after you did a deductible, like a $25 copay. Well, if some of these people are broke, and that's the reason for the stress, now I got to throw more money out to try and feel better, you know, it's an issue.
Gary, are we already doing something?
We do have an EAP program already under Medica, and they do get up to 3 free sessions.
Okay, then I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
Do they have the ability to choose their counselor?
I don't know if they initially have the ability to do that, it depends, but they do have that option, I know, and there's various people under the plan. In fact, I think Jerry's under the plan.
Yeah, I'm a medical provider, so, right. No, I'm
So,
sorry, I didn't realize.
we already do have that option.
Okay, so then we
Maybe
could
the
all...
problem is we just need to get the word out. that
See,
people are-
Are they aware of it?
See, and that's the thing, I was not, and I
Yeah,
guess,
you were, so probably a lot of other ones aren't either.
so we just wasted our time.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Well, see this, and now they know, we do have one.
I don't have to feel bad.
Yeah.
You have to feel bad. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with your distress. You have any,
You'll come see you later today.
That would be the best revenge, Thomas.
Maybe I'll talk to you then, Gary, just if we can get the word
You
out, because
bet.
it was something that we probably had a couple of instances already, maybe we've taken advantage of, and I just wasn't aware of it.
Yeah.
So,
Perhaps we need to, when we send out the sheets with what people's benefits are, remember we do that every year, of what your health insurance and all that, and add to it.
That's probably some of the assumption is that people have read that in there, I assume, and
can certainly
Okay.
Because
send
just
an
as
email
feedback,
out or something.
All right.
just as feedback over the last 2 or 3 years, I've worked with county employees who weren't aware that they had an EAP program. So.
Yeah.
Sounds good, well, thank you
Very good.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
Yep.
the heads up.
Thank you.
Nice going.
Next on the agenda, we got Freedom Worship Center, Drew Becker with the tax exemption status. Drew, are you here?
I am here.
Morning,
Hello,
Joe.
everyone.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. Sit here?
Yeah,
Yep.
the hot
All right,
seat.
wonderful, the hot seat. Well, how's everybody doing this morning?
Good.
Good. Can I share a funny story first?
Go for it.
All right, real quick. When I first moved here, I didn't know why I was here, but I ended up starting a church. We were in the paper, and I was sitting at a Chinese restaurant here in town, and my wife and I were in the paper for starting this church, Freedom Worship Center. And about 3 sets of older couples were sitting next to us, and they said, "Did you see that young couple starting a church here in Aberdeen?" And they go, "Yeah, I saw that. I know exactly why they're going to start a church. They're going to start it because they want to be exempt, and they want a tax break." My wife said, "Don't say anything." Are you kidding me? This is a perfect opportunity. So I went up and talked to him, and I said, "Hi, I'm that pastor that's starting that church." That guy got so embarrassed. Well, here we are now dealing with taxes here, and I'm not sure what your thoughts or regulations are on this, but we moved into this last Easter in March. I think we closed like on March 11th or 25th, something like that. And we did have a renter from March through November, so I don't know if that disqualifies us from being tax exempt. I'm not for sure what the regulations are here in Brown County, but we did get charged for taxes, real estate taxes, throughout the year last year. And so we just got the letter, giving us information that our first payment is due April 30th. For $22,000, and then, of course, our second payment will be due later in the year in October 31st for another $22,000. So I'm not for sure what your thoughts are on that. I know that as a church, we're exempt from taxes as a 501c3. I don't know how.
So now you have 2 locations? You moved to a new one?
We have 3 properties, actually. We have one north of town, which is about 18 acres, and we have nothing on it. We had one on Roosevelt and Fairgrounds Road. We were going to build on that after a lot of, we were going to build on it, and then this building out at 516 Production Street Industrial Park opened up, and we saw that to be a better deal for us because the cost of building new, and it was going to be a lot less room for us. So we sold that property just about a month ago.
Sold the Roosevelt?
Yes, yeah, we sold that.
So where are you holding church
So-
services?
516 Production Street on the east end of the industrial park. We're in the industrial park. We're right next to Aberdeen Development Corporation.
But you said something about rent. You
Larry
rented
can probably answer this.
When we moved, we bought that building, but we were renting at the time. We had rent.
In that building?
Yes, Progressive Financial.
You
They were in the
know, that
first
would
floor.
be tax exempt if it's rented out.
Right,
It wouldn't?
it would not.
How about half of it?
Only
It's not church ownership is the key, it's the use.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if it's used as a place of worship, owned by a church used as a place of worship, then it would qualify. If it was just owned by the church and
No.
used for commercial stuff,
No, it was,
like renters,
it was owned by the church, and we had worship on the second floor.
okay.
We moved into it on the second floor, and they were on the first floor.
Okay, so if you do that, then a percentage of it might be
Okay.
available
All right.
for the exemption. But that still doesn't get beyond the initial problem that, if you walk through this, we're talking about the 2016 tax year.
Right.
And by statute, the value of that property has to be determined on November 1st of 2015.
Correct.
And then the taxes are being collected starting in January 2017. So that 14 months is to allow for all the appeals and everything else that goes on during
Right.
that time. You bought this property or became owners of it in March of 2016,
Correct.
and then as part of the settlement with the previous owner, you were given part of the tax that would be owed for
that part that somebody else owned it.
It was prorated.
Right,
They-
and so
they
you
paid
got
part
about
of it.
$15,000 for that first part of the year.
Yeah.
14,000.
Let's see here. We received, I think, here's the information right here.
Well, you
Like
received,
11,000.
okay, you
It was
received something
prorated.
for
Yeah.
the time, and you have that money then to apply towards the taxes that are due starting 2017.
Okay.
Okay, so in order to qualify for the exemption, you have to make application for it again before November 1st of 2015. So about the same time that the property is evaluated for tax purposes, you put in your application showing that it'd be
Correct.
exempt. And as I understand it, that wasn't done.
Yeah, we didn't know we were gonna buy the land. or-
No, because you didn't own it, so you didn't
Right.
do it.
Correct.
Now, the statute basically says if you get the situation you've got, then you don't get the exemption for 2016.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, if you own property that's exempt and you sell it, then the county gets to step in and grab the part of the year's worth of taxes from the new owner for the part that isn't owned by the exempt organization. So if you were, let's say, if you had bought it in March and sold it in August to some non-exempt
Mhm.
organization, the county started collecting taxes again for, for that period of time. The bottom line is though, under the statute, you don't qualify. Now, the question for the commission is whether or not you want to go ahead and grant some sort of abatement in any event. Now, to do that, it has to meet one of the different specific requirements, and generally it's that there was some mistake first.
Yeah.
Then you got your foot in the door, and then if it's not granted, then you have a right to have,
Why wouldn't it be granted? if we're-
Well, it probably would be.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, you're in a position then to
We approve
exercise all
those,
your
we approve
rights.
those next
Yes.
month, don't we?
During the equalization process, we'll
They'll
approve all
they'll-
the tax.
I guess basically what I'm asking is for mercy.
Now, is
So
half
do
of
you-
it still being rented?
Do you own this whole building?
We do,
As-
yes.
And you are renting part of it out?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore,
Not anymore.
okay.
They moved out, Progressive moved out in November.
Okay.
It was a bummer.
Well, but my understanding is going through this with our church, we had extra space and we were told that if we rent that space out, we could jeopardize our,
501c3 status.
right. And that's why we elected not to rent that portion out, because we didn't want to lose our taxes against status. That's why I asked if you were still renting it out.
No, we're not.
Well, for example, the Christian school, when they bought the old hospital out here,
Yeah.
there's a complex formula that was entered into to determine how much was being used as a school and how much wasn't for
Right.
purposes of the exemption. So it's fairly common to to do that. It's just a matter of, whether or not there's a basis for the exemption for 2016.
If you did rent it out, would it be possible that part of it would be exempt and the other part not? Is that what I'm hearing you saying?
I'm saying that my experience is that there are other cases where that's happened in Brown
Okay.
County.
Right.
Now, you maybe ought to talk to the assessor's office about that.
Okay.
So are you, the one parcel sold now, are you operating worship services at both of the other two now?
No, we just have basically farmland, other than the land that we meet at 516 Production Street out in Industrial Park, the one that I'm talking about here. That's where we meet every Sunday.
Okay, just the one location. What was the third you're talking about?
The farmland.
The farmland is about a mile on Roosevelt, it's a mile out of town.
Okay.
It's in Ordway Township. We own 18 acres in that, we pay taxes on that. Because there's no building on there, there's no regular services, there's nothing. The one that was on Roosevelt Fairgrounds Road is where we were planning on building, but we just sold that. Because we're not gonna build there now. So we only have one building,
Gotcha.
so, yeah.
Any other questions? Okay.
All
Do
right.
you have any questions for us? Do you kind of know where we're at? You're good for next year.
I'm good for next year. Not this year?
Not this year.
No discussion about that, just boom. All right.
Unfortunately, you know, statute says what we're kind of dictated to do and what we're able to do.
Gotcha. All right.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks for
Have a
coming
good
in,
day.
appreciate it. Let us know if you have any other questions. All right, that brings us to the next item. We got Paul Stevenson, CIO, Museum Website and Register of Deeds Software. Paul, good morning.
I think we'll start with the deeds since Carol is here.
Hey, Carol.
$11 was the rebate of the hardware.
We got a couple of things at the Register of Deeds office. I guess we'll start with electronic filing, and I'll let Carol kind of explain where that's at.
Okay, I've decided to move forward with electronic filing of documents. So if a lending institution chooses to send the document to us electronically, we will have the capability to do that. And we've chosen to go with Active Data, with File Director. And through File Director, the redaction process will stay in place, so anything of personal nature like social security numbers, loan numbers, etc. will be protected, so that it won't be visible to the public. There are presently 12 counties in South Dakota who are doing electronic filing. We would be about the 13th county to do so, and I think it's exciting to move forward with that service to our public.
Are they using File Director also?
No, they have chosen to go with Simplifile.
All 12 of them?
Huh?
All the others are using a different one?
There's no charge to the county through Active Data. All that will be added would be a maintenance fee, but that yearly fee would also include putting our documents online, which is another subject that we want to discuss this morning.
Active Data is Carol's current software for her accounting and for filing her.
So it's compatible then?
Yeah,
That's what I was
it's the same
wondering.
program.
It's just an
It's an extension of what
enhancement.
we have already,
Okay.
so. And Larry, you've looked over this contract,
Yes.
I saw the email. So, it's basically a contract saying that they're not charging us for this service, they're collecting all the fees, and so for the county itself, it's pretty seamless and dollarless on this part of it, but,
But you said there is an annual maintenance fee?
yeah, and we already pay a maintenance fee on all our other stuff.
It's
That's just the
about
contract.
$1,200 extra a year for both programs.
Do we have to update servers or storage
No,
or
this
anything?
will all be on their server on that one,
Good.
on this piece, so.
Do you need a vote for that, or?
So how come they're all using one thing and we use something different? Is there a reason for that, or?
Simplifile is the company that came forward when we first began talking about electronic filing, and they presented different workshops. And so that's what the other counties became familiar with. And I just thought, since we are already with Active Data and File Director, Clerk Track, why put another program in place?
They were offering it already, they just weren't advertising it?
Right.
And then, when we get to this next piece, which is putting the actual, our documents online, I think you're good to go from 2011 to forward?
From January 1st, 2011 to the present time, we are ready to go with our documents to be put online. It's been a long process. We started this in 2014, and Nancy and I took a visit to North Dakota and visited their program, and I also decided to stay with Active Data with putting our documents online.
I like it all one same company.
And that one does have a cost, I mean, it's an enhancement to our software,
but it's,
13,574. I know,
One time?
13,574. Now Carroll has a technology fund for this, so it doesn't really come out of her, well, every time that somebody comes in and gets a record, they pay $1 per page, that's statute. Part of that goes into Carroll's technology fund to do things like
That
this.
is a one-time cost?
yes.
Yes, that's a one-time cost, so.
Is it, is that to put all the older files up online then?
Everything that they've got scanned in so far, yes. And it's already hooked to their accounting, the clerk check their accounting system, so they'll take the payments, it will be PayPal,
Mhm.
I believe. So they'll take the payments, then they'll just do an ACH to the county. So it's relatively pretty quick, seamless little setup with what we already have in place. Now, when a year ago, we looked at some other, maybe going a different direction, and we talked about that when we started the Square 9. But, you know, we're talking $100,000 just for the software switch, go from active data, and then we have all these other pieces on top of it. So this being an enhancement to what we already have, I don't know if we need to, I guess it's your call whether we need to send this out to get
So
bids.
I call your office from North Dakota and I need my kid's birth certificate. Will this help you email that to me, or
You
is
just
the
go online?
electronic just your access to it?
Vital records is a totally
Different.
different.
Okay.
Different deal. But if you were looking for a deed,
Yeah.
then you could get a copy of the
Okay,
deed.
so it's
That's-
just the deed,
It's a
it's
nice
not
customer
land
service.
record.
Stuff
Yeah.
linked, it's not linked to the state stuff?
No.
It'll get used heavily by banks, attorneys, mortgage companies, realtors will use it a lot.
Save you some time.
Yep, and it'll be more convenient to those who need the service.
They won't have to come over here.
Yeah, it should cut down on phone calls and actual visits to their office.
That should be nice.
Should streamline them a little bit.
And the purchaser pays all the PayPal fees, that's
Yes.
all charged to the customer.
Yep, and that's all taken care of by active data.
Right.
So,
Very good.
so, like I said, Carol's got
It's been a long
plenty of
time
months.
working
Because
on
they're
this.
taking
Yeah.
the money.
But,
and
you know, we
giving it
finally got
back.
to the right
Yep.
solution at the right time.
I like this, I like that it's all one.
Yeah.
Those can end up with...
That's the way I felt, instead of having several different programs.
Because you don't have the clashing that
Yeah, yeah.
Recording?
the recording fee stays with them.
Do they keep the recording fee, or does that come back to
That
us?
comes back to the...
That comes back.
Comes all back.
The recording.
The only thing they have to keep is their service fees, and the PayPal will keep their fees. Everything else come back to the Registry of Deeds office.
The more we can do electronically without having to print things off,
Doug?
that's a huge time saving.
Well, and that's what the taxpayers, what our customers are looking for.
Yeah, they know, you get asked every day, are your documents online? No, not yet.
And 2014 is when I first
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you send this to us, Carol? Do we
I'm
already
sorry?
do we already have this? Did you email this
Yes.
to us, the?
I believe so,
Yeah, that came through in an email chain, back and
Because I
forth
don't-
on that
I've
one.
been missing a couple emails.
I think that is the final one
Did
from
you guys get
Larry
some?
with all the
I didn't get it
changes.
either. Okay,
in
can
it.
you resend it? Some of us didn't get it.
Oh, okay.
That one you can keep Rachel's to sign, those two that are going around, if you guys vote that way.
We met on this, and there was some terminology
Yeah.
that wasn't consistent with South Dakota practice and some other things that got cleaned up. But what I like about it is they warrant a lot of stuff in here, and
Sure.
they protect us in some significant ways, so.
Sounds good. Any other questions for Paul and Carol? All right, do you wanna, act on that today, guys? Is there a
I
motion?
would move it.
Okay, we got a motion from
Which one
Hanson.
is that, the contract with Active Data?
Can we put them both together?
I suppose.
Because they're the same,
Okay.
with that.
I'll second it.
Motion from Hanson, second from Sutton. Other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Congratulations.
Nice job.
Thank you, it's exciting.
I know how excited you were up in North Dakota when we were looking at it.
I know, and
Yep.
finally, finally.
Now the excitement begins.
Yes, and as we get a year completed with indexing and proofing, then that year will be added.
Okay.
It'll be a
So
continuation.
we'll start with 11 till present, then when we get 10 done, then 10 will go add on to it, and 9, and so far going backwards.
How long does it take to do a year?
Informational, huh?
It depends upon how busy our office is, but with 4 of us working on it, when we have time. We're almost done with 2010 now. So I would say, it's hard to put a time frame on
Depends how busy you are.
how long it takes, but
Good job.
we do it with every spare minute we have.
I think there's a fair amount of pressure relief, just put it online for
Yeah, that'll free up
the
time.
realtors and such.
Free up time in your office.
Mhm.
Sounds good? Well, thank you. Yeah, I think that's informational. There's no signature on that one. Just the one.
Well, I
Okay.
think the back page of the dollar amount on it is just,
Yeah, the
Yeah,
dollar
that,
amount.
Yeah.
that's just the proposal.
I two-sided printed everything, so got
that
back
one
on
have
paper.
No, it's not.
There's no signature on the second one.
No.
There's just
Isn't it?
one.
Okay.
No, because I imagine we will have to do a contract for
Sure.
the documents online as well. We just wanted permission to move forward with the project.
Good. Thank you. All right, well, thanks, guys.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll, I see Patty's here, so we can go back and a few months ago, or last year sometime, November, whenever it was, we discussed the museum wants to get off of the county template for the website and move forward. So, in the meantime, you know, as busy as we've been with the jail project, I haven't had time to really put it together. So they asked for some going outside, and went to QQP per request of the commission, and QQP came back with $2,500 to do the template, put the initial content in, and everything after that, $75 to $100 an hour. I guess the big question is whether or not we're going outside of the current website template. That's something we did 4 years ago. We got everybody into one template.
But yet, today we had a voucher from the landfill for a website with Genius or something?
That is just for their domain. Just, browncountylandfill.org, I think it is.
Oh, okay,
That's
for
all that is.
$100?
Yep, that's just their domain.
Okay.
To redirect them to the county site.
That's so they hold the name.
Right. But it
But they-
comes back to the county.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You know, so, I know you had one other quote, didn't you?
Well, we had gone and talked to McClellan, and then we'd also gone and looked at Weasley and Wix and all of those other, and obviously there's more of an investment with those, especially if we go with McClellan, because that's top notch.
And I was doing a little bit of research just to see what capabilities we would have, and Patty already has the ability to go in and change a few things, but I think in visiting with Sue this morning, if you had the ability to change a few more things and given a little more flexibility, is that something that's possible? That's probably the way we need to go, is to keep our county template, and I know that's not what you want to hear, Patty, but we've already made the investment to get it under one umbrella and one website and maintenance company and so on. But if you're given a little more flexibility to add your own personal touches to the area within your website.
We would like to make it as dynamic as possible.
Right.
It's a marketing tool for us.
Right.
And, marketing is like half of what we do.
Right.
Exactly, to bring people. And it would be nice to work with Public Print, as I have in the past, to set up 2 pages with them, and it worked out very well. They're excellent customer service.
I know Sue asked this morning, have we gotten additional bills from QQP for work that's been done on the
We did back
website?
until the first of the year, and now I just pay the hosting fee. So apparently we haven't had anything since then.
Okay, because Sue wasn't aware that there were any bills being sent to the county for work they, right. And so if they are, she would just like to know about that, because she was unaware that they were charging.
It's, anything that Jerome does is $75 an hour.
Okay. So if those are things that, Patty, you can do, rather than be charged for, I think that's what we need to work towards, in talking to Sue and Patty.
And we have some room in our budget, that if I wanted to set up a new page, and he took time to do it, we certainly could pay for that out of our budget.
Yeah, but
Marketing, we consider it marketing.
you should be able to do a page, that's really not that hard. I can sit down with you on that.
Paul, maybe what we need to do is offer it, there's other departments that wanna be doing the same thing. Can we do like a 2-hour training at some afternoon or something?
Depends on the person, I mean, it's not, if you have zero skill set for it, 2 hours of training's gonna be nothing,
Sure.
you know.
Well, I think we got some pretty capable employees, so
Yeah.
as long as you put out the
thing
offer
is,
and say,
when we did the
and just be
website,
honest, I
we
think you could probably do
restricted
it,
it to one person per department,
Okay.
you know.
Maybe that's something we need to
And
do,
that's-
because I think
that's
we're
a-
opening up something that other departments may
And
like
there
to
are
do as well.
several departments that are already,
Okay.
you know.
I think the fair kind of updates a lot of their
Yep.
stuff. I think Sonia's pretty
I don't
tech
do
savvy.
much for the fair other than pictures.
Yep.
Do you have somebody in the auditor's office that wants to do the
Yeah,
election?
Kathy.
The election stuff?
We've
Kathy's
already
gonna do
talked
it.
about our website with Paul.
So,
Okay. So what I'm hearing, just so we're not going through QQP, we're gonna teach folks to kind of do their own thing and keep the template, but expand the options. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
The big thing I will warn is, you know, you are on the web server, so that's a password and a user you don't share with anybody. Because you're gonna sign off that you're responsible. Take the whole website down, you're responsible for it, so we're kind of touchy on that one, but it's not a problem. We built that in, but it's not, you can't rebuild the website. The template is a template. And that's, I think, where the confusion came in at the museum is we have a specific template we need to stay within. And anytime you want something different than that, it's a new website. I think that's where the confusion came in, more or less.
That wasn't communicated to us at the beginning, so we were under a different impression.
So,
All right, any other questions on the website? All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Patty.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Paul.
anything else for me?
Well, I'm sure we do, but not for right now.
Okay.
Next on the agenda, we got Dave Schlosser with the 2016 Audit Entrance Conference. Is he in the back? Let me go get him. Hey, Dave, how are you?
Hey, Dave.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. How are things going?
Going fine, yeah.
Good.
So, as Rachel said, I'm just here to do an entrance conference and answer any questions you might have in regards to the 2016 audit. So, you know, I was gonna meet with you guys probably, or we were last week, but we were kind of waiting to see whether we had to do a federal grant audit. And, it looks like, well, we are. So, you know, right now, the standards are if you expend over $750,000 in grants, that triggers an audit. So what are we at, like 763?
763.
You know, well, I was hoping we didn't have to do one, but, looks like we are. But the program too, probably be at CDBG, you know, for that safe harbor. So that was 400-some thousand, that's what's, you know, pushing you over, so. And when you get that kind of money, that, you know, but, so other than, other than testing the grants, you know, it's, you know, pretty much, you know, we test outline offices as usual, and in your case, we'll look at the fair again. You know, you have that new software, that program there, ShowClicks, so, you know, we'll have to document that a little bit. And we always look at the landfill, and then, you know, some of the other, you know, smaller offices too, but, so, you know, other than, you know, the same, you know, purpose of the audit is issuing opinion on the financial statements and test for compliance, you know, state laws, that type of thing. Again, other than testing grants and some outline offices, I don't see anything really, you know, different this time around. You know, unless you guys have some questions or...
I guess one of the questions I have, Dave, is from a legislative audit standpoint, as you maybe heard the conversation earlier, our goal is to try and go as paperless as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Are electronic files sufficient? I mean, in your eyes, if you can click on a file and bring it up, is there a need for as many copies as we've had in the past? Everything seems to get copied and recopied, and we've got multiple copies. And as we move towards a paperless world, are electronic files sufficient for your audit in your department?
Like vouchers, for example?
Right.
Yeah, I think we talked about those a little bit, but, you know, as long as, I expect to see some supporting documentation scanned in, you know, with the voucher, you know, I think you have to have support. for
The bill. You have the bill with the
Yeah,
voucher.
Yeah, I think you're
Which we
doing
do.
that. But, you know, I think the question comes in on, you know, approval process, you know, you don't have the handwritten signatures. But, you know, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Rachel can go in right now and, you know, sign off on a voucher, and there's like a date stamp on there or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only thing we were kind of wondering about, and again, that's more for this year, you know, next audit, but I know on those vouchers, the person that prepares them, you know, can add signatures. You know, so whoever's signature's on there, correct me if I'm wrong, but it might not be the individual, might not be actually them affixing their signature to the voucher. You know, you could have, you know, like at the highway department, you know, Cindy could prepare a voucher, you know, and she could affix Dirk's name to it. So there's a little bit of that, you know, I don't know what you wanna do there, but we kinda talked about maybe the department head could initial off on the support. That would suffice. You know, does that make sense?
And the designee from the department if it's not the head.
Yeah,
Or if
I
head
mean-
does some for state's attorney or,
Yeah, to me, whoever, if that department head's name is on the voucher, that, they should be putting their name on the voucher, that's the
Right.
control. You know, but, you know, in lieu of that, you know, I think if they sign off on, you know, see a, you know, a signature on the invoice, I think that would work, you know.
I just think we're gonna
Does that
see
make-
more and more electronic
Well,
invoices and statements and all those things, and the less we have to print off, we can just keep it in an electronic
Oh,
file.
I don't, yeah, I was talking to Paul, and he said, you can have access and,
Yep.
you know, and look everything up, I think that'd be fine.
I just wanna make sure from a legislative audit standpoint that we're
Yeah, I don't-
complying with, by just
Well-
keeping things electronic.
You know, the
Yeah.
IRS accepts
Huh?
electronic signatures.
Oh, I don't-
If
yeah.
that would be the same thing, I don't know why the state wouldn't, you know.
No, and we just kind of, again, with the signatures, we're just looking at controls.
Sure.
You know, if there's, you know, typed in signature on the voucher, you know, is it really them affixing their name to the voucher?
which
versus
makes it
them-
more important to change your password and make sure you're the only one that knows your password. Because otherwise anyone could log in as you and put your signature on it.
Well, I think that's what, maybe that could happen. I don't know exactly where you're at with that right now. but-
Well, that's not the problem. The problem I see is you pull up that template and you say one of my deputies signs the perjury statement. All they do is type my name as department head. That's not me doing it. They can type any name they want to anywhere on that voucher, except for the approval down below.
Yeah, that's pretty locked down, that approval, I think.
Yeah,
you know.
the approval.
So that, I mean, that's where I think for the invoice attached, if the department has initial, at least, you know, we know that they, you know, in essence, they're, by signing the invoice, that's almost like signing the base of the voucher.
Mhm.
You know, I think that would work. You know, unless you want to, like I say, have restricted access to those vouchers, preparing them, but, you know,
Yeah, type name don't
Huh?
do much.
No, see, you're better off not having any name at all on
Right.
there, from an audit standpoint, you know. That's like, you know, somebody using somebody's signature stamp, you know. You know, I think it's important the department heads look at the invoices and, you know, highway department gets a set of tires in, you know.
Yep.
You know, Dirk's gonna know they got the set of tires, you know, or somebody, you know.
I don't think our process and procedure is changing at all from the way we were doing it, it's just we're doing it electronic now versus
Yeah.
so many copies and
Yeah.
the time that it takes to do that. You can do it faster if you're approving things online, so. I just wanna make sure we were compliant with your department.
Yeah, I think so. You know, and then like those vouchers too, you know, as they're being prepared at the department, you know, it's almost like you have to go affix those signatures to the voucher and add the copies and everything. It takes a little time, you know, and then before you go on to the next one. So it's pretty hard for the department head to sit there and fix their signature to the voucher, because, it's, you know, the process preparing takes a little bit longer. Whereas in the past, the department head might get a stack of them, he'd just go through and sign them. See, so that's, you know, that's where now they would probably have, you know, they could initial off on the, you know, support, you know,
Sure.
you know, I mean, so.
No. Any other questions?
So, but yeah, that's, looking it up, and you don't need a hard copy.
Any areas of concern, having done, you know, you do quite a few counties that we need to be aware of, or things that you're new that are arising of concern, other places that we should be?
No, I don't know if there's any area, I can ask you, if you have some areas you want us to look at, or, you know, any concerns, you know, too, let us know.
All right, any other questions?
Somebody kind of cleans out our candy dishes when we're not here. Should we set up a camera, you think, or?
I give candy up for Lent.
Don't blame him.
Can't blame you then, huh? Okay.
You probably blame me a little bit.
Confession time.
But,
I usually
so,
bring
yeah,
a bag
you know.
once in a while.
How long do you think you'll be here till?
Kind of not.
Yes, early May, end of May?
Oh, we should be finished, you know, next month, end of next month.
End of April?
I think Chelsea Seabrand, she's gonna help me. I think she's going on vacation for a week, you know, but, you know, so, but, you know, definitely if, you know, you guys went cash basis or October, that's audited, that has sped up things.
Sure.
You know, I'm just guessing you guys, of course, the grant testing adds a few hours, but, you know, if you're gonna have grant testing, I'm thinking you're saving 100, at least over 100 hours in an audit, by going, you know,
Cash basis.
cash basis,
Good.
you know. But, you know, again, I don't know if you want me to meet with you halfway through the audit, or, you
Yeah, that
know,
would be
leave it up to,
great.
you know, leave it up to me, or if you want, you know, I don't care, you know, it doesn't matter.
I think
When you
halfway
you're
through would be good.
on half.
Okay.
That way if you have anything that jumps out at you, we can be aware of it, rather than
Yeah, so,
something
you
at
know,
the...
yeah, something in general, like the vouchers,
Sure.
or something like that. So, okay.
Sounds
Oh,
good, any other
and-
questions? Well, thanks for coming in
Thanks,
and
Dave.
meeting with us, I appreciate it.
And your engagement
Yep.
letter. So, you know, I don't need that, you know, back today. It's
Okay.
up to you, you know, or, so, okay.
I'll get it to you today.
All right.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Dave,
Thanks, Dave.
have a great day.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, that brings us to the end of the regular agenda. Max, you wanna do your list?
Minutes from the joint city-county, March 6th, and
Move.
general, March 7th.
Moved by Fishback,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Questions or corrections to those? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Claims.
Move.
Moved by Sutton,
Second.
seconded by Feldheim. Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
HR report.
Move. Second.
Moved by Hanson, seconded by Feldheim. Any questions on the HR report? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
There were 2 lease agreements.
Move.
Moved by Feldheim, seconded by Hanson. Any questions on the leases? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Sheriff's report for February.
Move it.
Moved by Fishback,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Everybody get a chance to look. Any questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The fair contracts.
Move.
Moved by Feldheim,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Questions on the contracts? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Auditor's report of accounts.
Moved by
Second.
Hanson, seconded by Fishback. Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Okay, the, Edmonds County is hosting the Upper Missouri Valley Commission District on March 23rd, and is that?
Thursday night. Thursday
Okay, your
night.
conference is is this week.
This week right now.
Okay, who plans to attend?
Where's it at?
Wakeside Bar and Grill in Mina.
Right, Mike.
At, social at 5:30, buffet dinner at 6:30.
I'm not.
I can go.
23rd. I should be able to make that one.
Tom?
I don't think so. I'm gonna be gone first and second, so, probably not.
A maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
A maybe for you, Tom?
Yeah.
I look at my calendar.
You're going?
I don't know.
You're a maybe?
I may need to go that day.
Yeah, put me down.
I'm a maybe.
What time is that again?
5:30.
5:30
is the
social.
social, 6:30 for dinner. So 2 yeses, 1 no, and 3 maybes.
That's at the Mida Bar?
Yeah.
Lakeside, yep.
Well, the other one's closed though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was, one
Sold or
downtown
whatever.
minus.
Anything else, Max?
Nope, that's all I have.
Okay, Gary?
Just one quick item, Diane Lear from Teen Court was wondering if you'd have issue with Cliff Rhodes doing a You in the Law class for Teen Court once a month for a fee. So Cliff just wanted to make sure you'd be okay with that before he
For a
agreed
fee,
to
you
do
said?
that. Yeah, as a contractor, basically.
Doing what
I
kind
think
of
that'd
class?
probably be good.
Teaching a You in the Law class for the teens, for Teen Court.
Who would
What's
teach
the-
it?
What's the?
Cliff
Cliff.
Rhodes.
Oh, okay.
He
She has the money in her
didn't say
budget.
what he was gonna charge.
All right, when they get it firmed up, let us know if it's
Okay.
a couple hours or if it's like a 6-week, you know, what's he gonna charge?
It says once a month for a fee. Yeah,
She has it in her budget, it would come out of her budget, right?
yes.
I have no problem.
Find out what the cost is and how many weeks he plans on doing, or how many months he plans on doing it.
Sounds good.
Any other questions? Anything else, Gary?
No, that's
Okay.
all I have.
Larry, got anything for us?
Nothing.
All right, anything from the other commissioners?
Spring workshop tomorrow and Thursday in Pier, whoever can make it.
Anything?
We have our board meeting today, starting at 5, so I'll head out for that today.
Sounds good. Anything from the folks in attendance today?
Can I have some questions when you're done?
Yeah, do you want it on the camera?
No, not a big deal.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Feldheim, moved by Sutton, seconded by Feldheim. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
In honor of Sunshine Week,